A breakdown doesn't happen overnight. It announces itself. God actually gives you warning signs, plural, before you reach the edge. But most people ignore them. They push through, pray harder, feel guilty for struggling, and keep going. Until one day, they can't go anymore. The Bible is full of people on the verge of collapse who God had to stop in their tracks. Elijah under the juniper tree, completely broken. Peter, after denying Jesus, destroyed by shame. David in the wilderness, pursued and terrified. God didn't just save them after the breakdown. He sent warnings before. And He's sending those same warnings to you. Most of us just don't know what to listen for. Here's what I've learned. Breakdown is not punishment. It's a signal. It's your spirit's way of saying this pace isn't sustainable. This load isn't yours to carry alone. Something has to change, or you will break. And God is merciful enough to give you the warning signs first. The problem is, we've been trained to ignore them. We've learned that struggling means we're weak, that asking for help means we lack faith, that slowing down means we're lazy. So we ignore the signs, we push harder, and eventually we crash. But what if God didn't intend that? What if those 5 warning signs are actually His mercy trying to get your attention before it's too late? Here they are. Sign 1. You can't pray like you used to. This is the first warning sign most people miss. Your prayer life gets shallow. You used to spend an hour talking to God. Now it's a rushed 5 minutes. You used to feel close to Him. Now it feels distant, mechanical, empty. You're still going through the motions, but the connection is gone. It's like you're reading a script instead of having a conversation. And here's what usually happens next. You feel guilty about it. The guilt spirals. If I was really trusting God, I'd have more peace. If my faith was strong, I wouldn't be struggling. Real Christians have vibrant prayer lives. So you pray even less because you feel like a failure. Your isolation from God deepens right when you need Him most. But listen to what Jesus said in Matthew 11 verses 28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Not work harder and pray longer. Rest. When your prayer life becomes a burden instead of a refuge, that's God's first flag. That's Him saying, stop, something's wrong, talk to me. That's mercy, not judgment. Sign 2. You're irritable over small things. Before a breakdown, you lose patience with everything. Someone asks you a simple question and you snap. Traffic bothers you more than it should. A joke that would normally make you laugh makes you angry. You're picking fights that aren't worth fighting. You're taking offense at things that don't warrant offense. And you know it's not normal, but you can't seem to stop. That irritability isn't the real problem. It's the symptom. Your nervous system is overloaded. Your emotional reserves are depleted. Proverbs 14 verses 29 says, the one who is patient has great understanding, but the quick-tempered person displays folly. Before you label yourself as foolish, recognize what's actually happening. Your body is screaming that you're at capacity. This is mercy disguised as frustration. Sign 3. You're sleeping poorly or way too much. A breakdown always shows up in your sleep first. Either you can't sleep, your mind is racing at 2 a.m., replaying conversations, spiraling into worst-case scenarios. Or you're sleeping too much. You can't get out of bed, exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. The body keeps score of what the mind won't admit. When your sleep is disrupted, your entire system is in distress. Psalm 4 verses 8 says, I will lie down and sleep in peace. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. But you're not dwelling in safety. You're dwelling in anxiety. Your body knows it before your brain admits it. This is God's alarm clock. When your sleep is gone, everything else falls apart faster. Sign 4. You're isolating or overcommitting to avoid being alone. Before breakdown, people do one of two things. They completely isolate or they fill every second with activity. Some of you can't be alone with your thoughts anymore, so you say yes to everything. You're overscheduled, overextended, drowning in commitments. Others of you have withdrawn completely. You're not returning texts, you're canceling plans, you're hiding. Both are warning signs of the same thing. You're overwhelmed. Proverbs 27 verses 12 says, "The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty." Isolation isn't spiritual. Overcommitment isn't dedication. Both are ways of avoiding the reality that you're breaking. God is sending this sign: reconnect or slow down, but something has to change now. Sign 5. You feel numb or emotionally dead inside. This is the most dangerous sign because it feels peaceful. You don't feel sad, angry, anxious, or afraid. You feel nothing. Things that used to bring you joy don't anymore. You go through your day like you're watching it happen to someone else. You hear bad news and feel nothing. You get good news and feel nothing. It's like you're a ghost living your own life. That numbness is not peace. That's dissociation. That's your mind's last defense before complete shutdown. Your spirit is saying, "I cannot process anymore." Job said in Job 3, "I have no peace, no quietness, I have no rest, but only turmoil." But the opposite is also true. Numbness is turmoil too. It's turmoil that's masquerading as calm. This is the red light before the crash. Here's what all 5 of these signs have in common. They're not signs of weakness. They're not signs that your faith is failing. They're not signs that God has abandoned you. They're signs that you're human, and you have limits. Real, physical, emotional, spiritual limits. And God knows your limits better than you do. Better than you know them yourself. He's not surprised by your breaking point. He's been watching these warning signs accumulate. The prophet Elijah experienced all 5 of these signs at once. He couldn't pray. He just wanted to die, literally begged God to take his life. He was irritable, angry, defeated by his own ministry. He slept deeply, desperately, like his body was trying to escape consciousness. He isolated completely under the juniper tree, alone in the wilderness. He was emotionally numb, convinced he was the only believer left, and that God's work had failed. And what did God do? He didn't shame him. He didn't tell him to pray harder or have more faith. He didn't say, "Stop complaining and trust me." He gave him food, rest, and compassion. He met his physical needs first. Then he met his emotional needs. Then he met his spiritual needs. He said, "You are not alone in this, and I see you." He introduced Elijah to others who were fighting the same fight. He reminded him that his life still had purpose. That's the exact message for you too. God is not angry at your breakdown. He's trying to stop it. So here's what I want you to do this week. If you recognized even one of these 5 signs in yourself, don't ignore it. Don't spiritualize it. Don't push through it. Treat it like God is speaking to you because He is. If your prayer life has gone shallow, stop and ask God why before it gets worse. If you're irritable, recognize that as a flag that something needs to give. If your sleep is broken, take it seriously. Your body is trying to tell you something. If you're isolating or overcommitting, choose to change the pattern today. If you're numb, please talk to someone, a counselor, a pastor, a trusted friend. Not because you're broken, but because breakdown is coming, and God is trying to stop it. That's mercy. That's love. Tell me in the comments which sign you recognized in yourself. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless you.